1 year ago in January 2024, I got laid off. It has been 12 months of questioning everything I thought I knew and clawing my way through days that I really didn't think I'd survive. Whoo, I have lost my shit more times than I can count. And I have even sincerely looked my husband in the eye and told him, if you want out, I'll understand. If you're new here, let me give you the short version of the last year. I had a plan. Reality had other ideas. And now, after 12 months of rejection, frustration, and straight up BS, I'm here to call out the system that tried to break me and the people who made it harder than it ever needed to be. When I was laid off, I thought, okay, Sheila, take a beat, put on your big girl panties, pop on some gangster rap, and get back out there. You've been here before. You got this. And you know what? For a minute, I almost believed it. I mean, I had a damn good resume, decades of experience, and a track record of making things happen. But none of that mattered. The job market didn't care about my resume or my experience or my track record. Turns out the job market is a joke. Now, I full on know that I am going to burn a few bridges here with this video, but let's be real. Those bridges were already crumbling. I'm aware that the letter coming up isn't exactly a career boosting move, but if speaking the truth means closing doors that were barely open to begin with, then so be it. In the last year, everything's changed. My days are longer, my energy is lower, and the things I used to love have quietly disappeared. My art supplies sit in my studio completely untouched. My motorcycle hasn't left the garage in months. And my office, this beautiful space that I've created, is for a career that no longer exists. Those things, the art, the bike, the career, they represented who I thought I was, and losing them has made me wonder if there was anything left. And it turns out there's a lot left. There's way more than I ever thought. Over the last year, I was still throwing everything I had at trying to get back into the corporate world. Thousands of resumes were sent, countless hours spent tweaking my LinkedIn profile, reworking my resume, and hiring coaches who told me to sell myself better. Apparently 30 years of experience needed a better sales pitch. But no matter what I did, the result was always the same: rejection, over and over and over again, and each one felt like confirmation that I didn't belong anywhere anymore. All of this continually played into my fear that I would never be a version of myself that I could respect ever again. However, I realized that I'm not as alone as I thought. Building this community, this space here where I can share my stories and hear yours, has been one of my life's joys. The comments, the shared stories, they reminded me I wasn't alone even on the days where I felt completely isolated. Because let's be real, isolation isn't just lonely, it can be dangerous. But this community, it pulled me out when I couldn't pull myself up. Knowing others had been through similar struggles gave me a kind of hope I didn't think that I'd find. And it wasn't just this tribe that pulled me through. I learned to rely on my husband in ways that I never thought that I could. I learned to trust him enough to say, hey, I can't do this and I need you. Oh my God, that was so terrifying. I have spent most of my life trying to prove that I didn't need anyone. So fully accepting his love and support was a big one for me. To know that we're a team and that he wasn't going to leave when things got ugly changed my life. And through all of that, the scrambling, the doubt, the sleepless nights, there's one group of people that I have been dying to talk to: the hiring managers of corporate America. Broken systems don't break people like me forever. They piss us off. They force us to fight even when we're running on fumes. And they remind us that if we want change, we've got to do it ourselves. So, corporate hiring managers of America, listen up. This one's for you. Dear corporate America, let's get one thing straight. I have given you everything, and it's never been enough. I've tried, really I have. I have bent over backward to meet your impossible standards. I have stuffed my resume with every buzzword imaginable and pretended to care about your fast-paced environment. I have played your game. I've jumped through your hoops. I have sat in interviews smiling through gritted teeth while you pitch your visionary ideas for the future of your company. Ideas that I know from decades of experience will absolutely crash and burn. But I've kept my mouth shut because apparently honesty about what I've learned in 30 years of success isn't collaborative and won't make me a culture fit. But here's the thing. It's not me. It's you. Let's start with the basics. Your job postings are an absolute embarrassment. You want a rock star, a guru, or worse, a ninja. I'm sorry, but what exactly does a synergy ninja do? Throw PowerPoint stars? You're not looking for a ninja. You're looking for someone to manage spreadsheets, handle Karen's 47th urgent email of the day, silently tolerate your micromanagement, and still smile while you cut my salary in half. As a side note, I'm not stupid. When you say you're looking for a self-starter, what you really mean is our team is a mess, we have no structure, and you're going to have to figure it out yourself. Do you even read what job you're posting, or do you just mad lib your job descriptions with buzzwords and then hope for the best? Because half the time your requirements are about as realistic as asking for someone fluent in Klingon, JavaScript, and workplace drama. You're asking for someone with 15 years of experience and a skill that's only existed for 5. A PhD for a job that pays $50,000? You're not hiring, you're writing corporate fan fiction. But hey, let's say I make it past all that nonsense and actually apply. What happens next? Nothing. Nothing. Or worse, the infamous auto rejection email that arrives before I've even clicked submit. At least send a rejection letter with my name on it. Come on, it's right there in the resume you didn't read. And let's talk about those endless rounds of interviews. 6 rounds for a mid-level role. That's not hiring, that's hazing. At this point, I'm questioning myself and everything about my career choice. Do you even realize the mental toll your process takes? By the end, I feel like I need a shower, a drink, and a therapist. Pouring weeks into a process only to hear nothing is demoralizing on a level that you'll never grasp. Even a scammer trying to steal my credit card has the decency to follow up. If this is how you treat people you might want to hire, I can only imagine how you treat the ones who actually work for you. And let's talk about your cost-saving obsession with outsourcing. You send work offshore to save a buck, but let's be real. Does it actually save you money? The endless rework, the time zone issues, the language barriers, none of it is efficient. Not even close. Outsourcing isn't saving you anything. It's draining the people who actually care about the work while relying on teams that don't have to live with the consequences of their half-baked solutions. You're not being strategic, you're just cheap. And it's emblematic of a larger issue, a culture that prioritizes shortcuts over sustainability, exploitation over empowerment, and optics over outcomes. You're not just outsourcing work, you're outsourcing responsibility. And the cracks are starting to show. And while all of us are dealing with these shortcuts and trying to make up for poor decisions, let's not forget who truly bears the brunt of it all. The customer, the end user who depends on the work, the ones that we're supposed to be serving. And all this for what? To work at a company where we're a family really means sacrificing my real family to meet your endless demands? To spend hours putting out fires caused by poor leadership and bad decisions? To have my mental health wrecked because you refuse to hire enough people to manage the workload, let alone the right people to lead it? You preach work-life balance, but reward the people who answer emails at midnight by praising their dedication. You implement wellness programs to look progressive while ignoring the fact that your teams are drowning, suffocated by your broken systems and your empty promises. Now, speaking of mental health, let's talk about layoffs. The ultimate mindfuck. Now, you didn't just blindside me, you gaslit me. Smiling in meetings, assigning me new projects, pretending I was indispensable when you knew damn well you were planning to walk me out the door. How do you sleep at night knowing that you made me feel safe just so the fall would hurt even more? How do you reconcile that? Because I can't. I'm supposed to be grateful for this system, grateful for the opportunity to spend my most productive years job hopping just to get a decent salary increase. Staying loyal to a company means watching new hires with half the experience walk in with bigger paychecks because apparently loyalty is the fastest way to get underpaid, undervalued, and overworked. You preach innovation, but run your companies like it's still 1995 with rigid hierarchies, fear of change, and a deep distrust of the very people who could lead you into the future. And let's get real about ageism. Let's just stop pretending that this isn't a thing, okay? You see someone like me with decades of experience and immediately assume I'm slow, stagnant, and stuck in my ways. Then you hit me with your favorite line, "You're overqualified." For me, this obviously translates to, "We're afraid you might know more than us." Guess what? I do. But instead of leveraging that expertise, you pass me over for someone who still needs a tutorial on how to unmute on Zoom. You're losing out on experience, reliability, and someone who's been around long enough to know how to solve actual problems. You're losing out on the very person who could fix the messes that you're too scared to admit that you've created. And don't think I didn't notice you in the interview. I saw how your eyes and entire demeanor changed when we sat down to talk. You smiled, you praised my experience, and you said all the right things, but your body language told me everything that I needed to know. What is it? Does my age offend you? Newsflash, you're going to be here soon enough. And when you are, you'll finally understand what it feels like to be dismissed because of the lines on your face and the color of your hair. And while we're talking about biases, let's get real about those stock photo diverse teams that you plaster everywhere. You love to preach inclusivity, but toss out anyone who doesn't fit your outdated culture fit. Inclusivity isn't a buzzword, it's a freaking challenge. Try meeting it. But here's the thing, I see the game. We all see the game, and I choose not to participate anymore. I have spent too much time trying to meet your ridiculous standards, too much energy nurturing my mental health after being crushed by your toxic culture, and too many years waiting for you to value me. I'm done waiting. I'm done hoping that you'll see my worth, and I'm done letting you dictate the rules of this ridiculous game. You want me back? Well, it's going to have to be better than what I'm building now, because while you've been ghosting me and eroding my confidence, I've been figuring out how to thrive without you. So, with all the truth and passion that I can muster, it's not me, it's you. It's always been you. Your system is broken, your expectations are delusional, and your inability to see the value in people like me, that's on you. You're not rejecting me, you're rejecting everything that could make your company better. You want a ninja, but you can't even see the warrior standing right in front of you. Shame on you. Sincerely, the overqualified badass who doesn't need your shit anymore. All right. Damn, that felt good. That felt real good. You can use this if you want. If you want to use this letter, you can totally use it. Use this content at your own risk. Letter may result in awkward silences, career setbacks, or being immediately escorted out of the building. May cause sudden clarity about your worth and an uncontrollable urge to stop tolerating corporate bullshit. Not responsible for any career collateral damage or the sudden urge to start your own business. Results may vary. Here's the thing. I know I'm not alone in this mess. Every rejection email, every pointless interview, every laughable salary offer, it's not just my story. It's our story. It's the story of anyone who's ever been told that they're too much, too old, or just not enough. And yet here we are, still fighting and still showing up. And if you've ever had to redefine what success looks like going from a 6-figure job to 4 a.m. Uber shifts, then you already know what I'm talking about. But what happens when survival isn't enough anymore? When hustling feels less like resilience and more like defeat? That's what I'm figuring out, and I'm sharing my new reality with you here.